So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bernadette Cruz. I'm in a live Facebook with Fiona McKie. She's with us from Ireland. She's going to introduce us to Limerick Institute of Technology. This is a very interesting option in Ireland. And okay, I'm going to let her introduce herself and let her introduce all the information she has from this very nice institute in Ireland.
Hi everyone, as Bernadette said, my name is Fiona. I am the regional manager for Mexico for LIT. So what that means basically is I am the person who would be your point of contact in LIT. So I would assess your application. If you do come and study in LIT, I will be your point of contact on campus. Yeah, and that's kind of what I do. LIT, we're located in Limerick City in Ireland. So that's the third largest city in Ireland. And we're very, very well known for being one of the most affordable cities to live in, which is really, really great for students that are thinking of coming to study abroad. What I might do is share a presentation with you guys. I'll go through all the points of Limerick, Ireland, LIT, and then at the end, if you have any questions, you can put it in the box and Bernadette will be able to ask me, if that's okay.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Fiona. That's normally how we do the presentations. And as you mentioned, we can start with it and then follow up the questions so we can do, in the end, a wrap-up of everything.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Just give me a few seconds there now. I think I'm having technical issues, isn't it?
Okay.
Here we go.
Great. Okay.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Looks very good.
I'm going to go through a lot of different things. So I'm going to go through Ireland first, because I know Ireland isn't always the first option for everyone, but it is a really, really good option for students that are looking to study abroad. So I'm going to go through some points on that first. Then we'll go through Limerick, and then we'll focus a little bit on LIT and what we offer as a college. So you might be familiar with Dublin. Dublin is Ireland's capital city. So it's located up here. We're located here in this little red bit. Just under us is Cork, and Cork is Ireland's second largest city. Okay. And just above us is Galway, and Galway is Ireland's fourth largest city. So as I said, Limerick is the third largest, but as you can see, we're really centrally located. So we're actually have a really, really good access to the other major cities in Ireland, as well as being a really big city ourselves. We're also just 15 minutes from an international airport. So when I fly to Mexico, I fly from Shannon Airport to Heathrow, and then Heathrow to Mexico City. So it's really, really accessible for Mexican students. We're also just 40 minutes from the coast. So from our main campus in Moylish, literally from the doorstep of the college, you're just 40 minutes away from the Wild Atlantic Way, which is one of the most beautiful places to visit in Ireland. Actually, if you look here, that's part of the Cliffs of Moher, which is located on the Wild Atlantic Way. And it's always something that we tell students must be on their list to do when they come and study in Ireland. We look at Ireland then, I suppose, and why it is such a good study destination for students. We're the largest English-speaking country in the EU. So it's a really, really good option for students that are looking to immerse themselves in a country where English is their first language. We can only say that, I suppose, since Brexit happened, but we've always been able to say that we are the largest English-speaking country in the EU that deals in the euro. And the reason that that is so important, I suppose, is because when you look at multinational companies, if they want to base their European headquarters somewhere, they're going to look for somewhere that deals in the euro and also speaks English. And Ireland is the only country that that kind of ticks those two boxes for them. And because of that, we're home to a lot of multinational companies. In fact, there's over 1,200 multinational companies that have their European headquarters based in Ireland. And the reason that that's so important is because that means a lot of job opportunities for our students. And it's not just normal job opportunities. These are really high quality job opportunities. And that is kind of why we do travel and we do travel to other countries to try and get international students to come and study with us, because we do have all of these job opportunities available. Ireland is a quite small country, so we don't have the graduates to actually go into these positions, and that is why we travel abroad. So it kind of is, it's really good being in that position, I suppose. Another very, very important thing why Ireland is such a good choice for students is we're very, very safe here. So we're among the top 10 safest countries on earth. So whether you're a postgraduate or undergraduate student, safety is going to be one of your main priorities, and safety is also going to be one of your parents' main priorities. So it's really, really good to know that Ireland is a very, very safe country. Obviously, the main benefit, I think, for a Mexican student to come and study in Ireland is that there's no visa required. So you could, in August, decide that you want to come and study in Ireland in September. What would happen in that case is you could book your flights, you could come to Ireland, and on Ireland, you present them with your passport, it gets stamped, and you're allowed in the country. Within the next 30 days, we will then work with you to get your G&ID letter, which would mean you are going to register as an international learner in Ireland. And that's that's how it works. So it kind of takes a lot of that stress of applying for your visa and waiting on an answer off of you, because you know that you can just come if you decide that you want to study here. So it's great. While you are studying, you can work part-time. So you can work 20 hours per week during study time. So that might be in the evenings or at the weekends. And you can work 40 hours during your break. So midterm breaks, Christmas holidays, summer holidays, you can work 40 hours per week. And the minimum wage at the moment is approximately about €10.10, which is equivalent to about 246 Mexican pesos per hour. We also have for post-study work, once you graduate with an undergraduate degree, so if you graduate from a bachelor's program, a level 8 bachelor's program, you have a 1-year stay-back visa. And if you graduate from a master's program, you have a 2-year stay-back visa. So in that time, you can look for a job, you can travel around Ireland, you can do whatever you want to do, because this time is guaranteed to you. As long as you graduate from these areas, then you can stay for that long. So it's really, really good in that case.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fiona. I just would like to ask a little question, because as you mentioned before, there are very interesting opportunities with very important enterprises that currently have offices in Ireland. And I probably we're going to mention the enterprises that already have offices there, but I would, because I saw some mails we've already shared, and when we talked before this year on February, I think you mentioned some of these companies. Probably I'm getting a little bit ahead of your presentation, but I'm kind of curious. Can you please let us tell us some of the companies that already have offices in Ireland?
Yeah, so there's lots and lots of really, really big companies that do work in Ireland. But not only that, I suppose there's a lot of these companies that we have direct links with. So we work very closely with industry in Limerick. So there's a lot of companies that we would work very closely with. So, like, for example, we have Intel have a massive office in Shannon, which is very near Limerick City, and we would work very closely with them. They would also accept a lot of our students on placement there, which is great for us. We also work very closely with Lufthansa. We actually have a Lufthansa program at LIT, which is very, very interesting. There's WP Engine, who would be an IT firm, Johnson & Johnson, Dell, Ernst & Young for anyone who's interested in finance. Uber have actually, one of their main offices is based in Limerick City, and it will be a very, very big employer here as well for people. Analog, Northern Trust, Striker, 𝗜𝗍𝗁𝗍𝗿. All of these companies are massive companies to be in Ireland, but these are people that we actually also work directly with and have industry links with.
Oh, thank you very much, Fiona. Thank you very much. I remember, for instance, sewing 𝗟𝗿, and I thought it's a very, well, as you mentioned, there are lots of opportunities, and Limerick Institute of Technology is actually having very interesting programs that I've read that companies are looking for graduates from these bachelors and masters. And so I really think it's a very good opportunity for people that are looking for good opportunities in the future.
Exactly. So for undergraduate programs specifically, for built environment programs, so like civil engineering and quantity surveying, we actually have employers come to us requesting information for students that are going out in their third year placement, because they know that our students are very, very high quality, and they take from us year after year. These placements are fully paid also, which means that students are getting that opportunity to work in these companies before they even graduate.
Oh,
and what's
wow.
happening in these cases is the students are making those links at that time. So when they do graduate, they have places that they can reach out to for further employment. They may even have a job secured after their placement. So I know, for example, we have one student who did their placement with Intel. So they studied electronic engineering. They did their work placement, a 6-month work placement in their third year. And when they completed that work placement, the employer was so impressed with them that they said, as long as they graduate on time and they graduate with similar marks, they're more than happy to take them back when they graduate. So that student already had an employment opportunity secured before even going into year 4 of their program. So that is why these industry links and this practical approach to learning that LIT has, that's why it's so important when it comes to securing jobs, I suppose.
Thank you, Fiona.
No problem. We'll take a little look at Limerick then. So as I mentioned already, Limerick is Ireland's 3rd largest city, but we're also the 3rd largest English-speaking city in the EU. That's kind of cool to say, even though we have only been able to say it for the last couple of months. We are the commercial capital of the Midwest region, located just 15 minutes from Shannon International Airport. So I've already spoken about these multinational companies being attracted to Ireland, but they're also now being attracted to Limerick. So they're looking for places to come outside of the capital where they know they're going to have graduates to recruit from. They know that they're going to have an okay, their expenses aren't going to be too high, and an area that is in a kind of a thriving city. And Limerick ticks those boxes for them, which is really, really great for us, because the more of these companies that are attracted to Limerick means the more of our graduates that get to be employed in the area. And that's what we want. We want them to come to study in LIT. And we don't want them to have to graduate and then go to Cork or Dublin. We want them to be able to stay in Limerick and kind of add to our economy here in the Midwest. So that's really, really good news for us. We're a very young city. So Limerick, nearly 50% of our population are under 35, and students make up 20% of the city population. So 1 in 5 of every person in Limerick City is a student in higher education. So it's a really, really nice vibe to the city. So kind of like lots of students around, very, very young. It's a very student-oriented city as well. So we have ourselves, there's also the University of Limerick, as well as Mary I Training College. So 3 major institutions based in Limerick, which kind of adds to this, this young city that we have. It also means that there is a really, really nice pool of graduates for employers to recruit from. Which is one of the reasons that they are being attracted to us. So that is really, really good. I suppose the main point for a student to think about when they are going abroad is expenses and how much it's going to cost them to study abroad. And one great thing that we have at LIT, I suppose, is that Limerick is a very affordable city to live in. If you compare it to Dublin, we're about 50% more affordable than Dublin City, and we're about 20% more affordable than Cork and Galway. So what I always say to students is Limerick is a really, really nice middle ground. You get to still have that city life. You get to have those part-time job opportunities, but you get to do it at an affordable price. So you're not really missing out on anything when you choose Limerick. It's the best of both worlds, and that's not the case in other places in Ireland. So we're very, very lucky to be able to do that and to be able to offer that to students here. We take a look at LIT then. So LIT is a great college. So I'm from Limerick. I'm from Limerick City, and I am a graduate of LIT. So I might be very biased in my opinion, but Limerick City is a beautiful city, and LIT is a really, really great college. We're one of the fastest growing colleges in the country, offering a lively and enjoyable student experience. We're actually soon to become a technological university. So we are going to be merging with another institute of technology in Ireland called Athlone. Together, we're going to become a technological university. So it's a really, really exciting time for us here at LIT, because I suppose just looking at the future and what it's going to bring. So that was announced last year, and we would expect that to kind of come into fruition in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's going to be a busy couple of years ahead of us, but it's going to be great, great times as well. At the moment, we have almost 7,000 students across 120 courses. Of that 7,000 students, we have a really, really nice mix of obviously domestic students. We have a really, really nice mix in our international student community as well. So we have some Latin American students, we have Mexican students. It's growing every year, which is fantastic. We have actually one of our biggest markets at LIT, which you might be surprised to hear, is Canada. So we get a really, really good number of Canadian students every year. We have Indian students, Nigerian students, Malaysian students. You know, there's no one dominating nationality at LIT, which is really, really great, because it means that every student has the opportunity to have a really, really international experience, which isn't always on offer, I suppose, everywhere. So we're kind of lucky in that case.
Thank you very much, Fiona. I didn't know you were an LIT graduate.
I am, yes.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I studied accounting and finance at LIT. I graduated, I graduated 3 years ago, I think. Just over 3 years ago. And I graduated in November, and I started working in the international office straight after. And then I started on recruitment in January of last year. So it's been a really, really quick turnaround. But I love it. I really do.
It is very interesting. And I wanted to ask you because, as you just mentioned, Dublin is the main capital of Ireland. And a lot of people know Dublin and everything. But myself, I normally like a lot smaller cities. Of course, it depends on each student. Of course, it depends on each person. But I actually do believe that if you want to have a real international experience, internationally, probably going to a very big city, it's going to be quite similar, almost probably in all the big countries of European Union, they are going to be very similar. But if you go to a smaller city, you can meet much more Irish people and have a very different experience, right? So were you born in Limerick?
I was born in Limerick City, just outside of the city. And I moved out to kind of the countryside, I suppose, a couple of years ago. So I've had the best of both worlds in that case. But honestly, I wouldn't live anywhere else in the world. I travel for my job. I've been all over the world. I travel for my holidays, and I always enjoy traveling and going abroad. But I always come back to Limerick. I'll always be a Limerick girl at heart.
I know. You already shared a very beautiful scenery from Ireland. I know. Yeah, but you mentioned it is 40 minutes from your town, from Limerick.
Yeah, so 40 minutes so Limerick City is actually a gateway city to the Wild Atlantic Way, which is a really, really nice thing to be able to say. It's just, the Wild Atlantic Way is the whole coastline there on the west of Ireland, and it has along the way a lot of different kind of tourist attractions. But the main tourist attraction there is the Cliffs of Moher. So we always try and go to the Cliffs of Moher with our students for orientation every year. to kind of, I suppose, give them their first insight into travel or into Irish kind of tourism and kind of to see that. And it's really, really nice down there. I always say that every year. I'm like, are they going to be impressed with cliffs? Like, you know, because I suppose I've gotten so used to it. I kind of take it for granted. But every single year we bring the students and they're just in awe. It's honestly, it's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
I know, and I haven't been there. I have yet. I have to go. But also, I would like also to make a remark in a question you already said, but I want to remark: if you're a student and normally are going to have to think a lot about the money. Normally, when you go to other places that are not the main cities, it's going to be easier, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned 15% minus, right? Around.
Yeah, so if we go back here, we're about 50% more affordable than Dublin. So when you take into account the cost of your tuition, your living expenses, your day-to-day expenses, when you put all of that together, Limerick comes in at about 50% more affordable than Dublin, which is really, really fantastic to say. And now, Dublin is an absolutely beautiful city. It really is. And I go there myself whenever I can. And it's really, really nice place to visit. But it can be, just like any other capital city in the world, it can be very expensive. So if there is students that are, I suppose, a little bit worried about finances, or they would prefer to kind of save money along the way, then Limerick is a really, really good option for them.
Exactly. Thank you very much for letting me remark this point, because I think it's important for students.
So I suppose one of the main things that we focus at for LIT, and you will probably you'll notice me having mentioned it a lot in the presentation, but it's the employability of our students. So that's kind of the main thing that we focus on when we're talking with students and with agents. That last figure there, so over 96% of our 2018 graduates are successfully in full-time employment or have gone on to further education. That's the most important piece of information for us. That's how we base our success, I suppose you could say. We want to stabilize that figure and we want to grow it. Now, it will never be at 100%. Because students never do exactly what you want them to do. But we will get as close as possible to it as we can. And how we hope to do that, I suppose, is our learning approach. So we have a very practical learning approach at LIT, which you might have got from some of my presentation already. So we have smaller class sizes, which is great because it just means that the contact between students and their lecturers and also their classmates is easier. And students feel more confident in raising their hand if they have an issue in class or anything like that. It just means they're getting a more focused learning experience when you have a smaller class size.
Yes.
We also have our work placements, as I mentioned already. So in our undergraduate programs, we have over the next 3 years. So we have them in about 85% of our programs already, a work placement. And these are from 6 months to 12 months long, which is really, really good. And they're usually fully paid placements.
Okay.
In our built environment programs, so I mentioned it earlier, in civil engineering and quantity surveying, we have a full year placement. So in that student's third year, they're going out to work for that full year and they're going to get fully paid for it, which is a really, really good opportunity. We also have industry-led programs. So I spoke already about us working very closely with industry. I need to take a glass of water, I'm so sorry. I'm talking too much. Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, I know.
Industry-led programs are, we work very closely when we're starting a new program. For example, our digital marketing masters, we started that in September of last year.
Okay.
When that was being created, we worked very closely with industry partners in the marketing area in our region.
Okay.
And what we did was we invite them on our course board. They tell us what they're looking for in a digital marketing graduate. We then put that in our course.
Okay.
And so we know when our student graduates that they are eligible for these job opportunities that are in the area. So it was actually announced last year that over the next 3 years, there will be 150,000 jobs in the digital marketing area in Ireland alone. Now, as I mentioned already, we're a small country. We don't have graduates to fill those positions. So in response to that, we created this new course. We made sure that our graduates are going to have the skills required to enter these positions. And also, the industry is very well aware that our graduates are going to have these skills as well, because they were involved in the making of the course. So it works really, really well both ways. So that's kind of how we make sure that we are giving our students the best chance at being employable that we can. We give them everything they need. We just need to make sure that they're studying.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay. Well, we already talked about the school options, the university options, and as you just mentioned, how enterprises come and ask for the specific things they want students to know, and that's a very, how can you say, a very global cycle that's looked from everywhere. So the enterprises can have a student that already knows what they need. But also, well, I think it's important for Mexican people, and also we have offices in Colombia. So we have to know, as you mentioned in the beginning, but probably some of the people that are looking at us right now didn't hear, and I would like to to explain a little bit again. It's whenever Mexican students arrive to Ireland, they don't need to have a student visa. They can get there with their passport and make the change to a student visa. While they're studying there, they can work. They can work part-time, as you mentioned, and during breaks, they can work the whole time, 40 hours, right?
Exactly, full-time when they're on holidays.
Exactly, full-time. So, and afterwards, this is something very interesting, because I was just thinking, you mentioned, and I was thinking a lot about 96% of the students have work in the area they studied in. So this is very important, and it's 96% because, as you just mentioned, not all of us know what we want. And sometimes, or it also happens that maybe they're studying and they have their own enterprises back home. So probably these are things that we do not see, but they are working also in other country probably. So it's kind of interesting things that may happen. But what I wanted to remark is that in Ireland you have this postgraduate visa, postgraduate work visa. So this is very interesting because it's very helpful for students. So you can go enter without this student visa, then apply for the student visa, work while you're studying, and afterwards you'll have the opportunity to work, because Ireland gives a postgraduate work visa, right?
Exactly. So you will have, for example, a master's student will have the ability to stay back for 2 years after they graduate. If in this 2 years they find a position that kind of is related to their course, they then do have the opportunity to go on and look at the possibility of getting a further work visa. So there are some conditions when you look at this. So there is a list of specific programs like IT and applied science. They're probably the best areas to be getting into if you're looking for that. And you would need to be earning over a minimum of around €30,000 per year. But there are pathways to getting a further work visa after you have completed your graduate work visa. But you don't need to do anything to get your graduate work visa. You just need to graduate from the course. You just need to get through all the and graduate.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for letting me, well, explain all the procedure. And as you mentioned, you just need to be graduated. After that, well. Okay, thank you.
So if we look at the campuses that we, I have a dog and he just knocked something over.
I know.
Joy of working from home, everyone. But at LIT, we have 5 different campuses. So we have our main campus, which is 𝗜𝗍𝗿𝗱, which is the big one here. So that's that's home to our Faculty of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology, and also our Faculty of Business and Humanities. That would be where the majority of our student service offices are from. So that's where we work from in the international office. We also have an art school. So that's that one down here in the left-hand corner. It's called the Limerick School of Art and Design. And it's a very, very famous art school. We have a fantastic course offering there, particularly in fashion. We have fashion graduates that have worked with Beyonce, Lady Gaga. They worked on the set of Game of Thrones. Yeah, some really, really impressive graduate stories from LSAD. We also have 𝗘𝗁𝗁 and 𝗓𝗏𝗁. So 𝗘𝗁𝗁 and 𝗓𝗏𝗁 are actually based in County Tipperary. So they're not in Limerick, they're in County Tipperary, which is about an hour and a half from our Limerick campus.
Okay.
𝗘𝗁𝗁 is like a sports hub, and then 𝗓𝗏𝗁 is a creative technology hub. So the majority of our students do tend to apply for courses in 𝗜𝗍𝗿, Clare Street, which is our art school. But there are some times where you might have a student who's particularly interested in the sports area, but this would mean that this campus would be perfect for them because we have state-of-the-art sports facilities there. In 𝗓𝗏𝗁, if they're looking for creative technology, we have all top-of-the-range technology for those kind of areas there. So even though they're not based in Limerick City, if you have a student coming to these campuses, they are usually very, very interested in what the campus provides. So it is really, really good option for them. We also have a brand new campus opening. Now, it was supposed to open in September of this year, but with everything kind of going on at the moment, it has been delayed. But we're hoping for an early 2021 opening. And what this campus is going to be is it's going to be a full engineering campus. So all of those engineering programs that are currently in 𝗜𝗍𝗿𝗱 are going to move to 𝗬𝗎. And then 𝗬𝗎 is going to be our engineering campus. And then we're going to have our applied science and our business and humanities are going to be in 𝗜𝗍𝗿𝗱. So what that does is, I suppose, it gives both areas room to grow, kind of expand their course offerings and things like that. So along with the merger, this is another really kind of exciting thing that's happening at LIT. So it's really, really busy. Things are moving.
Yeah.
I'll do a quick run of the courses that we have on offer. So at LIT, we have a very, very wide range of undergraduate programs. So we have our Faculty of Business and Humanities. So here you'll find our Department of Sports, Leisure and Tourism, our Department of Applied Social Sciences. We have our Department of Marketing, Enterprise and Digital Communications. And we also have our Department of Business and Financial Services. Then we have our Limerick School of Art and Design. So you have your Department of Fine Art there and your Department of Design. Then you have more specific areas here, so like music production, creative media and design, fashion and textiles for product and costume. So if you do, I suppose if you are creative and you have an interest in studying your bachelor's degree in art or design, LIT is a really, really good option for you. And the reason being, if you wanted to major in one of these first 8 subjects, so say, for example, you wanted to come and study fashion at LIT. In your first year, you would pick 4 of these subjects. So you might pick painting, photography, print contemporary, and then fashion. And then in your second year, you will major in fashion. Yeah. So it gives you an opportunity to experience, I suppose, more creative courses and to make sure that you're making the right choice. You know, maybe that fashion student that's coming at the end of their first year might realize that they prefer to photograph fashion rather than to actually make it. Then again, you might have the fashion student who at the end of the first year knows exactly that fashion is definitely the right choice for them. So it kind of, I suppose, for an undergraduate student who's probably very young, starting out, it is a really, really good choice for them.
Yes.
Then we have our Faculty of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology. So if you're looking to come to Ireland to start a life, this is one of the areas that you should be getting into. Ireland is known as the Silicon Valley of Europe. So we have a really, really thriving IT industry and our applied science industry as well. So you'll notice that we don't offer medicine, we don't offer pharmacy, but what you will notice is we offer a lot of courses that are focused on the biopharmaceutical industry, because this is an industry that is really, really big in Ireland. And we know that there is a lot of employment opportunities in these industries as well.
Exactly. That was something I wanted to ask, because I've read some papers and information about new opportunities in different markets. And actually, I think IT and bioscience are are options that are very interesting right now, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, even I suppose at this current time in Ireland, where in the world, where everyone's kind of worried about the economy, in Ireland, our IT and our applied science sector is still doing really, really well. So that's very, very positive news for us.
Yes.
Definitely, if you are coming to Ireland, these are kind of the areas that you want to be looking at.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Fiona.
Then we have our engineering programs. So we have electrical and electronic engineering, mechanical and automobile engineering, and then our Department of Built Environment. So those are the last courses there: the construction management, quantity surveying, property valuation and management, and civil engineering management. They are the guys that have the full year work placement in their third year. So really, really good opportunity there. Then we'll take a look at our master's programs. So we've always kind of, I suppose, focused more on business and arts when we're looking at our master's programs, but we're very slowly but surely adding to them. And we have our first new edition, which was announced only a couple of weeks ago, which is a Master of Science in Data Analytics. So that's a really, really exciting addition for us. We are hoping in the next year that we will have even more masters to add. We would hope that we'd have maybe 2 or 3 for next September. And as they're announced, we will send that all out to Enjoy Languages, and they'll be able to share it with any interested students. So we'll be able to keep you updated on that. But at the moment, what we do have is our Master of Business and Marketing and Management Strategy, our Master of Science in Digital Marketing. We have a Master of Science in Strength and Conditioning, a higher diploma in Business Management, and a higher diploma in Digital Marketing. So these higher diplomas they're kind of like conversion courses. So you might have a background in engineering, you might have a background in IT, but you really, really want to get into marketing or into management. What the higher diploma allows you to do is to take the 12 months of study and convert your undergraduate degree into a degree that will allow you to go into business masters. So if it is a thing that you want to do, you could look at it like a 2-year master's. So it's kind of interesting. A lot of our students do tend to do that. What some of our students do is they come and they study the higher diploma. They will study for a year. Once they graduate, they'll have a year that they can stay and work. They'll do that, and then they'll come back to us for their master's. And then they'll study for 1 year, finish their master's, and then have 2 years. So kind of elongates their time to 5 years, which is interesting. Our students kind of brought that to us. So it was very interesting to see that they were doing that. We also have our Master of Arts in Social Practice and the Creative Environment, and also our Masters of Arts in Interdisciplinary Design Practice. Now that's an interesting one because it is for anyone that might have design in their bachelor's. So if they've done interior design, they've done fashion design, they've done industrial design, graphic design. What it does is it mimics the workplace. So all these designers aren't just going to be working with other fashion designers when they go into the workplace. They're going to be working with a whole multitude of designers. So it gives them the opportunity to kind of get those skills that they'll need when they're doing that in their study. There's a lot of, I suppose, industry engagement with that one as well, which is great because all of this industry engagement and all of these projects that they're kind of doing with industry and working with on their course are things that they can actually put in their CV So it kind of adds again to that employment aspect. One of our most popular programs at LIT is our Masters of Science in Quantity Surveying. This might be for a civil engineering graduate or a quantity surveying graduate. So it's really, really popular, and it's a very, very good industry to get into in Ireland as well. You would have a very, very good employment rate in that area, which is fantastic. Then we have the most important part, I suppose. And that is your fees and scholarships. So we have our undergraduate bachelor's degree is 10,250, our higher diplomas are 10,750, and our top master's degree are 11,250. Now I did enter a kind of exchange rate there that I did on the 3rd of June. It may have gone up or down since then, but just to kind of give you an idea, I suppose, of the approximate cost in Mexican pesos. We do offer discounts at LIT, so discounts of up to €2,000. So we kind of have different ones, and we can send more information on them if you're interested. We have ones that are based on academics, early payment discount, things like that. So if you do have more information, if you would like more information on that, you can just get in touch with us. Then accommodation, another really, really important point, I suppose, for students. So for our 𝗜𝗿𝗶𝗍𝗃 campus, we have purpose-built student accommodation that are located 10-minute walk from 𝗜𝗿𝗍 campus. Now, these are accommodation partners that we work with. So we work very closely with them, but they're not LIT. They're not LIT accommodation. Then for our LSAD campus, there is more options again. There's also the opportunity for students to go for private accommodation if they wish. What I would suggest with students is to get in touch with us and let us know what they kind of want, what they're looking for. And then we'll be able to send them a list of the best options for them. Because not everyone is going to want to go into a student village, and not everyone is going to want to go for private accommodation. So we do have options to suit everyone. And yeah, just get in touch with us and we'll be able to give you that information. Then student experience. So student experience is very important for us at LIT. We have, I suppose, over the last 2 to 3 years, our office has changed really dramatically. We have a whole new staff, and one of the things that we all seem to have in common is we're all out of higher education very recently ourselves. So we really, really do understand the value of student experience. We want to make sure that students are coming to LIT, and while it's extremely important that they attend classes and they study and they graduate, that's obviously of utmost importance, but we want to make sure that they're having a really good time outside of the classroom as well. So because of this, we've been working very closely with the International Student Society. They've been putting together some amazing events that happen in semester 1. Unfortunately, their plans for semester 2 didn't work out how they wanted, but hopefully that will be better for them. This is one of our Mexican students. Actually, she will be graduating this November. So Luz came to LIT with her brother, Rafael. And she studied electronic engineering with us, and she's a really, really fantastic student. I've sent, I think, I have sent this presentation, and it does have video links in it. So if there is any students, I suppose, that are interested in studying with us and you're in touch with Bernadette and Enjoy Languages, and they send you this presentation, there are little kind of videos that you can look. So one of them is a testimonial from Luz, and one is a testimonial from Rafael. And they're actually in Spanish as well. So it might be very, very interesting to have a look at them. And then that's it. So
thank you very much, Fiona. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And okay, thank you for letting us know all this about LIT. And okay, I wanted to mention that I think we already saw almost every part. Thank you very much for taking the time to do the exchange rate information for the costs, because this is very important. And I'm already leaving here the information from our Enjoy Languages webpage, and where they people that are right now seeing us and that will see us in the future can contact us so we can follow up their registrations and inform them everything properly so we can follow up this project. It's very interesting and important project for the life of the students, and well, I think this would be all. I think it was a very nice and productive time. I'm not sure if you would like to share with us something else.
I think that's it. I suppose if anyone does have any specific questions or anything like that, they can come to Bernadette, they can come to me, and we'll be able to answer them. We're more than happy. We're still accepting applications for September. And our data analytics masters is actually a January start. So you still have a good bit of time to kind of think about that if you're interested.
Yeah, and as you know, well, you've already been at different lives, and it's different. It's kind of difficult to talk to you and also see the different questions that sometimes people ask. Right now, I'm seeing something that probably we're not going. Well, actually, Enjoying Languages office is already taking care of, but it's very important because I already saw it in the presentation, and I think we didn't mention. If somebody started studying in Mexico, can they go and finish their bachelor with you?
Yeah, so it would depend. If they're studying a similar program in Mexico, we can have it assessed by course leaders. So we would have a look at the modules that you've covered, make sure that you have the same learning outcomes that you would have studied the subject in Ireland, and then you would be granted advanced entry. So it happens very, very regularly for students, but it's on a case-by-case basis, just making sure that you have the same learning outcomes.
Oh, of course. Thank you very much. I just wanted to mention that because it's not the same in every university, but I thought I've already read that it's possible with LIT.
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much. I'm sorry
I moved around my house so much. It probably looks absolutely crazy, but my dog, yeah. Working from home.
Don't worry, it was interesting. It was like, okay.
Everywhere. Yeah.
He was interested. What's happening right now?
You know, he's asleep all day. And then the minute that I have to do something.
I know. It's the same with my dog. I know. But well, okay. Thank you very much, Fiona. So we'll keep in touch. And students can contact us. We have here the link, and we're going to keep in touch.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. It was great to talk.
Bye. Bye-bye.